It was an unusually chilly morning in downtown Washington when former President Donald Trump, flanked by a minimal security detail, stepped out of his motorcade for what appeared to be a routine stroll. As cameras clicked and bystanders whispered, no one expected what would happen next. Amid the crowd, Trump noticed an elderly homeless man sitting quietly against a brick wall, clutching a tattered American flag and a cardboard sign that read, Vietnam veteran. Hungry. Forgotten. Trump paused, his gaze fixed. In a move that stunned onlookers, he walked straight toward the man, knelt beside him and asked his name. The veteran, eyes filled with disbelief, replied, Robert. Without hesitation, Trump took off his own coat and wrapped it around the man's shoulders. Then he called over a staff member and instructed them to arrange housing, food, and medical care for Robert immediately. No PR, no cameras invited. News spread like wildfire, not from Trump's team, but from stunned passers-by who shared videos online. For once, politics faded into the background, and what emerged was a raw, unexpected moment of human compassion, one that reminded the nation that sometimes the most powerful gesture is simply seeing someone who feels invisible. As Robert clutched the warm coat around his frail frame, his lips trembled, not from the cold, but from the weight of a moment he never thought would come. Trump sat down beside him on the pavement, ignoring the murmurs of confusion from his security team and the flashes of camera phones. You served this country, Trump said firmly, and this country should have never left you behind. The former president then asked Robert about his service, listening quietly as the veteran recounted harrowing memories from Vietnam, lost friends, sleepless nights, and a homecoming that offered no home at all. The sincerity in Trump's face surprised even the harshest critics nearby. Within minutes, aides were making phone calls. A private room at a veteran's shelter was secured, and a team of doctors scheduled to give Robert a full evaluation. But Trump wasn't finished. He handed Robert a small envelope and said, This isn't charity. This is a debt that should have been paid long ago. Inside was a personal check, later rumored to be enough to support Robert for a full year. Later that day, Trump spoke briefly to the press. He didn't focus on himself. He focused on the thousands of veterans like Robert, scattered across America's cities. We have billion-dollar budgets, he said, yet men who wore the uniform are sleeping in alleys. That's not just a policy failure. That's a moral failure. Social media exploded. Supporters praised his compassion, while even longtime critics admitted, the act was real, raw, and rare. Robert, now resting in a warm room with clean clothes and a hot meal, simply whispered to a reporter, For the first time in years, I feel human again. That single act of kindness became more than a viral moment. It sparked a conversation across the country. And whether people loved or hated Donald Trump, many agreed. What he did that day mattered. In the days that followed, the story of Robert and Trump dominated headlines, not as a political stunt, but as a genuine spark that lit a fire in the hearts of many. Across the country, people began checking in on the homeless veterans in their own communities. Small towns and big cities alike saw a wave of volunteers showing up at shelters, donating supplies and asking how they could help. It was as if that one moment on a cold sidewalk had shaken something loose in the national conscience. Trump, meanwhile, quietly instructed his team to identify more veterans in crisis. A private initiative was launched behind the scenes, funded personally by him and a few close allies, aimed at providing housing, healthcare, and job opportunities for at-risk veterans. He didn't name it after himself, nor did he hold a press conference about it. When asked why he was doing it, he simply said, Because it's the right thing to do. Veteran organizations, many of which had been skeptical of political figures, expressed cautious optimism. We've seen promises come and go, said the director of one major nonprofit. But this action was different. It felt real. Robert, now clean-shaven and regaining his strength, appeared on a morning news program weeks later. Wearing a donated suit and sitting tall, he spoke with quiet pride. I didn't just get a handout, he said. I got my dignity back. The image of Trump sitting shoulder to shoulder with Robert became iconic, printed on magazine covers, turned into murals in cities like Detroit and Dallas, and even framed in several veterans' halls. Politicians on both sides of the aisle were forced to reckon with the undeniable truth. Veterans were being left behind, and it took an unscripted act of compassion to put that back on the national radar. And while many still debated Trump's politics, one thing became clear. His unexpected gesture didn't just change Robert's life. It reminded America of the humanity we so often overlook, and the power of one moment to start a movement.